K-News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car. It's senseless. No.
K-News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car. It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the protocol? Then you call the pope. Oh yeah, I listen to Chemabele, the jack the pope, what I do for why you keeping the pope there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they will say they will do they want to do that one. Then they try and cheat about the road condition. Now my market in the
University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there, this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasala?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 10 million again? Well, what is that? What I did for this money? What happened? I said, can we arrest you for 10 million? My sister, 10 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is with the World Food Program.
K-News comes to you from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. You can listen to K-News at 6 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. every weekdays as we bring to you your news makers. K-News. Get all of the latest in the world of news. K-News.
Pleasant good evening from Painesville, outside the nation capital Monrovia, and welcome to K News at 6. K News at 6 is a 45-minute presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. My name is Benjamin Gabriel Keba. On today's Wednesday, July 30, 2025 edition of K News at 6, we take our short break. When we return, we bring you the full package of the news. Welcome back to the news. We take our first development here, where the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Lamin Fagan, has urged the Day-speaking tribe to claim what he termed as their rightful electoral space. The LBS boss believes the Day people push to have a district exclusive for them rather than being part of an electoral district in county. He pointed out that the Day people should only be identified whenever there is an election, but they should have a district to identify as their home. Fagan made the statement at the program marking the induction of the leadership of the Darwin District Youth Association in Gen 3 Darwin District in Bomi County. Those inducted during the program were Nuka Sangari, President, Lawrence Watson, Vice President, with Emmanuel Colley, General Secretary, Asata Brooks, Treasurer, and Abraham Kamara, Champlain.
People, I don't think you believe in title, you believe in work. For too long, the Dewa people have been used and abused. It's time for you to take your future into your own hands. The Dewa people are not ordinary people. But when you ask for them today, you can barely see them. The only thing they're good for, which we must change now, is election. The day when people cannot govern themselves, according to those who think that should be, that will not be. Some of us will have to lay down, but we will ensure that the day when people will be able to right to govern themselves, not as a county, but as a district. We want to remain in Bomi County, but not as an electoral district. We are a tribe with honor. We should be respected. If you go to local county, we need all the tribes. You go to Ibadan, we need all the tribes. You come to Bomi, they will need the 2 tribes. But when you ask for our homeland, people act like they don't know us. When you say David, they say, what kind of tribe is that? Where can we find you? But they will find us in this administration because we will fight to get a district that will be recognized, and we will also be recognized as a tribe. Levoma is on the path to becoming a junior high. Make no mistake. Our children will no longer walk almost 30 miles before they can go to school, walk 30 miles back. That is punishment. That is cruelty. And it needs to change, and it will change. You are assuming leadership, but it is my prayer that one day the chiefdom headquarters will come here so that when you come as citizens of Dewen, you don't have to go so. When you come here, the city commissioner, paramount chief, youth, everybody. In America, the Western world, it's called one-stop shop. Meaning you go to one place, everything right there. You don't have to be passing so. No. We'll work on that too. Work.
He is the Director General of the Liberia National Police, that's the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Fagon. The Assistant Minister for Technical and Vocational Education Training the Ministry of Youth and Sports has made a personal contribution to the development of basketball in Liberia. Assistant Minister Colin Tamar donated a set of brand new uniforms to the Liberia Basketball Association. The brief but meaningful handover ceremony took place at the Samuel Kayando Gymnasium in Pinsville City. The donated basketball gear included a full set of officiating uniforms aimed at enhancing the appearance and professionalism of referees and game officials during national matches. According to Assistant Youth and Sports Minister, he feels truly impressed by the professionalism and dedication of our referees and match officials after witnessing several basketball matches across the country. He also highlighted some of the many challenges facing basketball stakeholders. Given Assistant Minister Tamba pointed out that the donation was his way of giving back to the sports as means of encouragement.
Having been in the gym for quite a long time and a lover of basketball from high school days, I've witnessed the struggle that the LBA has gone through for the past 1 year I've been in government. The numerous games I watch here, I've seen so many challenges, and I've seen what the efforts you're making to be able to face those challenges and get them sorted out. So I thought it wise, as a fan of basketball and a lover of basketball, so on my own as a person, find means to help the LBA as well. And what I thought would be very good for me to do was to ensure that the referees who are handling the game, they have official outfit and neat ones that actually. So I see so many players from different teams appearing so very decent, and I see the challenge the referee face in appearing on the pitch, because you can be intimidated by the appearance of even the players as a referee. Even as a police officer, if you're not dressed neatly, obviously the citizens who you're going to work with arrest, they may not want to respect you. Just your appearance can show that you have that reputation on the floor. So I thought it wise in my own big way to support their efforts here at the LBA by purchasing 50 cents and branding them with the LBA logo. So, Robert SG. myself and my family, I present to you these 15 sets of uniform for your reference. Thank you very much.
For their part, the leadership of the Liberia Basketball Association truly appreciates his kind support. It means a lot to also show that someone is paying attention to the work behind the scene. They urge others to emulate him and support sports in Liberia the way Mr. Tamba has. The Liberia Basketball Association also applauded the donation, calling it a positive step toward improving the standard of the game. The donation, they say, will add the growing cause for increased private and public support for sports infrastructure and personnel across Liberia. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has also pledged to strengthen efforts to uplift technical and vocational support within the sporting sector.
Association. For us, this is a huge victory to have a fan of the game, not in his official capacity as assistant minister, but as a fan of Liberian basketball. For him to take upon his personal resources to support what we are doing, it shows that we are winning. We are turning non-believers into believers here at the LBA. And we are very, 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 very thankful to the minister for his contribution. I will now present this to the technical director where the referees fall under him. So, Mr. Sai, if you can please step forward.
I just want to say a few words. Mr. Minister, we are all in this together. I hate to call you Mr. Minister at this time because you are doing in your individual capacity and your likeness for this game. We all have played this game, we have played it to the highest. Play for Liberia, play for the university, and we have been all around the world just because of this game. So Mr. Minister, at this time I will say thank you very much. As shadow referee, I will take possession.
Officials of the Liberia Basketball Association, earlier speaking, was the Deputy Minister for Technical and Vocational Education at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Colin Tamba. The Prison Fellowship Liberia, with funding from the Prison Fellowship International, has ended a one-day roundtable discussion aimed at providing refresher training for 70 monitors. The monitors will be tasked with duty monitoring beneficiaries of fellowship scholarship programs in various schools across Montserrat County. The Fellowship Liberia, in collaboration with the Prison Fellowship International, has been offering scholarships to children of inmates in prison facilities in 9 of the 15 counties. Providing details to K News, the country director of the Prison Fellowship Liberia, Reverend Francis Colley, disclosed that the training is intended to prepare the monitors for the upcoming recruitment process. According to Reverend Colley, the 70 trained monitor will be tasked with the responsibility to recruit 500 children of inmates for enrollment in the scholarship program.
Association. For us, this is a huge victory to have a fan of the game, not in his official capacity as assistant minister, but as a fan of Liberian basketball. For him to take upon his personal resources.
You're going to be working with corrections officers. You're going to be working with prison superintendents, because those are ones that you're going to interact with them to give you the permission to work, to interview inmates, to give their children names or child's name or the guardian's name and all of that. It's going to be a huge work for you. It is a voluntary service that you're going to provide. This is one way that you're going to serve your country and its people. We want to, of course, say bravo to the Minister of Education for some policies that have been changed and new policies that have been added to the old policies in the educational sector. Childhood development programs and the Minister of Education have quite enhanced for our country is a plus. We're going to be working with those partners, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Gender and Social Protections, Health Ministry, and those are people that we're going to be working with, because when the child gets sick, they have to go to hospital, even though we have a portion that will cater to children that get sick and that will be going to hospital. The rights of the children are very important. You know, the child's right laws guarantees, those that work with children, you must have that at the back of your mind. And we're going to be talking about that, the right of a child, because one of the rights of the child is education. You need to know that. You need to get it at the fingertip. How you're going to be dealing with the children, their rights, how they experience where the child was being tempered away by one of the teachers, and we took that issue very, very drastically, and thank God the law took its course. Those are things that you're going to be monitoring. You're going to be monitoring the violation of the child or the children's right. If they're in school, whether teachers are violating their right, because right now some community you have sex for grades and all this kind of stuff, and you got to really keep your eyes on those things. And child labors, you're going to be checking on that very, very much. Some communities in the interiors, some they carry the children on the farm to work for the teacher, to make fun for the teacher. Those are things that are violation of the child or of the children. So those are things that you're going to be capturing to give us feedback at headquarters, so that we can engage national institutions to make sure that these things are known, encouraged in our community.
He is Reverend Francis Colley, the Executive Country Director of President Fellowship, Liberia. The Islamic advisor to President Joseph Imam Boakai has commended Muslims and Christians for responding to the declaration of President Joseph Imam Boakai to honor the National Day of Prayer. Al-Haji Sekou Sharif said the massive turnout of Muslims and Christians at the various places of worship is worth commendation, because all Liberians are in this country together. Speaking in an interview with the station shortly after the Islamic National Prayer Service held at the Black Jinnah Mosque on the Japanese Freeway, Al-Haji Sharif pointed out that the turnout of worshippers just within a short relative time of the President's declaration is an induction. That's indication Liberians are responsive to the Chief Executive.
Well, to thank them very much. We should continue moving into this direction, because the Muslim community began to have benefit with our unity. Some were divided a few years back. We know what used to happen to our hearts. Some we came together, we get the benefit and the respect, not only Liberia, if outside Liberia. So we need to be together, always. I'm very happy and to tell the Muslim people in Liberia, very thank you, the same way to the Christian brothers. Here you see the people. Sinfese the same all over Liberia, every Kwadugone, everywhere, Kolan district, everybody gather in their mosques today to pray for the country and pray for the nation. The major reason here is like some of the Imam was saying very simple, that we're all in one canoe and the captain's one. If that boat water go inside, nobody will be free from that problem. So it means we got to pray for Allah and pray for the government, pray for Liberia for us to cross that river safely. So we're praying for the government, for the success. We're praying for Liberia and Liberian people, for Allah to bring a lot of development into this country. So there was a prayer. I'm very happy, because the day he said it, on the 26th, for the people to understand it, nobody put no pressure behind anybody, and people just gather themselves to do that. That showed their love to their president.
He is the Islamic advisor to President Joseph Imam Boakai, Sekou Sharif. The technical advisor to the Director General at the Center for National Documents and Record Agency of Liberia is appealing to the government to incorporate volunteers public school teachers on the payroll. According to Ebenezer Bobo, teachers who are providing knowledge and participating in that it to the future generation must be prioritized for the betterment of the country's education. Speaking at the 61st graduation ceremony of the Emmanuel Johnson Junior High School in New Crew Town, Bobo urged students to commit themselves to learning and discipline for everyone. Bobo observed that it is heartbreaking to have volunteer teachers struggling to earn a daily meal for services they provide. He maintained that if teachers are not paid for their services, they become corrupt and lack ethical standards and values, explaining that they too need to survive.
To the process of learning, to exercise discipline, to respect one another and respect those that are older than you. Mutual respect for one another is a recipe for peace. When we respect one another, we can live in harmony. We can live a peaceful life. It behooves you as students to be humble and committed to your studies. Be courageous. Motivate yourself. Do not discourage yourself. Do not be distracted by those who try to discourage you from pursuing your dreams. Do not allow that to happen. Because as you seek education, you are working towards a better future for tomorrow. You are under obligation and compulsion to contribute to your community, to contribute to your society, and the contribution in general. They are still struggling to get on payroll. When teachers are struggling to get on payroll for services rendered, it's a serious problem. The government needs to look in that direction to see how the rest of volunteer teachers can be incorporated, because if a teacher is not paid after rendering services at the end of the month, he gets corrupted. That teacher will not conform to ethics. That teacher will not conform to values. That teacher will not conform to principles. Please, we are calling on the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Education to do whatever it takes for ensuring that our teachers who are serving our volunteers are incorporated and placed on payroll because they have the respective families to look after. They need to survive. They need to live. They need to be encouraged for the services rendered in the passing knowledge onto our younger generation. Most of our teachers are corrupted. They cannot find a way out. At the end of the year, the month after rendering services, nothing is fulfilled. That's a bad thing. If there is happening, let's government look in that direction and make sure that something is done about it.
A group identified as the founding fathers of Unity Party descendants has applauded President Joseph Freeman Boakai for what it calls his steady leadership since taking office. According to the group, the president's commitment to receiving the economy, promoting unity and fostering national reconciliation is commendable and deserving of nationwide support. In an interview with K News, the group's spokesperson Vavi Kamara highlighted the key reasons behind their endorsement of President Boakai's leadership.
We are just here to commend him on a few things that are happening and we hope will happen. One will be the issue of the importation of crude oil, that PRC now will be producing its own gasoline, its own product in Liberia. We can't tell when the last time we did that. That would be something the last 40 years, so we want to commend him for that. And also seize the opportunity and also appreciate him for what he have done to set up a committee headed by the Vice President, knowing the background of the Vice President from a businessman to where he is today, and asking him to check on the stability of prices. Government are giving some airways, some things that we hope and expect for prices to be done, while they still remain the same. So I think the president did a brilliant thing to have the vice president head that committee
And also tomorrow being a very important day for the National Day of Prayer, reconciliation. We also want to commend him for that.
For his part, the group chairman Lassana Kamara said they, along with the broader Unity Party, take pride in the direction of the president's governance.
For me, and I'm too proud because that's what we expected when the party was founded by our late parents, along with the former senator, the late former senator Dr. Edward B. Keseli. That there was a dream, and for this to be happening, even though some of our parents are not alive today, because that was their dream, that the middle parties will make a change in this country, and that change has come. I believe what the president said, love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia, and we are seeing it. And up for Lofa County, normally I need to go to Lofa, always I go there, I got to pass through all foreign countries to enter Lofa, or maybe 3 or 4 days in my car. But today I spent 6 to 8 hours because of my driving condition to enter Lofa. That's a lot of commendation. And I can say, we are seeing positive things. Okay. We are seeing positive things. We are just seeing the president do. When we were small, we saw this thing happening. We do not know that it was going to come to reality. The reburial of the late President Tobo and Samuel Kenya Do. And talking about national prayer tomorrow, there's something personally in me that I need to think about that it should happen. So when the president talked about it yesterday, I was so happy, and I brought my feet from everywhere for people to turn on and pray for this country, because that only peace and reconciliation we can enjoy what our forefathers planned for.
He is the chairperson of the founding father of the Unity Party, Lassana Kamara. Earlier speaking was the group spokesperson, Fafi Kamara. As Liberians observe Wednesday, July 30, 2025, as a National Day of Prayer by a proclamation of President Joseph Imam Boakai, Reverend James Willie is urging Liberians to seek divine forgiveness from God and embrace true reconciliation. Reverend Willie, the head pastor of Calvary Christian Church in Pinsville, urged citizens to consider forgiveness and reconciliation as part of their daily life. The president stated that hatred, lack of forgiveness, and genuine reconciliation were some of the factors that contributed to the brutal civil war in Liberia. In an exclusive interview with K News on Wednesday, July 30, 2025, Reverend Willie said as part of that, as Liberians observe the National Day of Prayer, every citizen must pray for reconciliation of the past and seek spiritual guidance in leading the country to its future destination. He emphasized that in keeping a prosperous and peaceful nation, divine spiritual intervention must always be sought from God. The clergyman believes more reconciliatory action need to be taken by Liberians through spiritual and practical means to heal the better past and forge one goal in building a successful nation. Reverend Willie at the same time described the proclamation by President Joseph Imam Boakai as a great move and acknowledgement of the divine spirit of God's intervention in the nation building process of Liberia.
Starts with God, okay? We really need to start with God. If we have the fear of God in us, I will forgive you. I don't care what you've done to me. In the prayer of forgiveness, the prayer of oneness, let us be one, not just by citizenship, but one in the mind, okay? You might say, dress in the same uniform, but we're not one, because your mind is different. My mind is different. We sit on the same table to sell. Okay, go on the market table. You see table like this, and they are making argument. So how can you people stay here for the whole year and say there's no understanding? But they are impaired. They say this is market woman, this is market woman. But their minds different. So we pray that God will give us the oneness of mind, not as human beings, but as a nation, for the betterment of our nation. If we're not together, we'll not work. If you are going your way and I'm going my way, all right? I mean, your one hand cannot do anything. But I think when we bundle up in group, we can succeed quickly. For instance, we talk about president. John Brown comes here. In the first place, this nation has no goal. All right? And the president comes here, he comes there with one idea. Like I hear from the great United States, they have a vision. Okay? And that vision is the American dream. So every American president comes and, follow that dream, but then he bring up his own personal agenda as a president to add to that. If it twists from out of the American dream, you hear that the horse will make noise until they reconcile. So this nation, we must pray for leader. Let's have a dream that this nation should go to where it should go.
Is Reverend James Willie there speaking. Liberia's permanent representative to the International Maritime Organization, Robert Pade, has disclosed that Liberia's status as the highest dues-paying member has significantly weakened its credibility and influence within the organization. Speaking in an exclusive interview with a local online platform on Tuesday, July 29, 2025, IMO representative Pade noted that under his leadership, the Liberian mission in London now operates in a fully equipped and professional equipment. According to Pade, this move has enabled Liberia's stronger diplomatic engagement and consistent representation. He underscored that Liberia remains the only African nation serving on the IMO's prestigious Category A Council, which comprises 10 member states with the highest interest in maritime service. The IMO permanent representative highlighted Liberia's active participation in several technical committees and subcommittees, including its chairmanship of the Maritime Environment Protection Committee. Representative Pade confirmed that Liberia is preparing for its re-election to the Category A Council during the IMO Assembly in December. He highlighted the importance of retaining its strategic influence in an industry that facilitates nearly 90% of global trade. Pade also announced that Liberia will host the 8th African Maritime Summit from September 30 to October 4, 2025, with participation expected from over 40 African nations.
Recalibrated the permanent mission. So Liberia permanent mission, after many years now, we have a very decent office that is befitting, that represent our country and its status as a global leader in the maritime enterprise. Liberia is paying its dues on time, and Liberia is the highest due payer in the IMO. The IMO comprises of 178 countries and other observing islands and nations. And Liberia pays the highest due. But not only that we pay the highest due to IMO, we pay our dues well in time. So we are respected. Liberia chairs the MEPC committee, the Marine Environment Protection Committee. It's a very, very critical, very significant committee because the work focuses on the protection of the maritime space, the global water resources, so safety, protection, and everything. And so, being on the council at Category A level, it strategically position Liberia in what we call global international relations, discussion. Put her in a firm position to present our case, to influence international maritime decision, as we're doing currently, and to be able to represent the rest of the other countries of the world. Being the only African country at category A, Liberia also carry on their shoulder the burden of Africa. And we are not letting the continent down. As we represent Liberia, we represent the continent at category A. This year, Liberia will proudly, honorably host the 8th AMA Summit. And the way Liberia continued to demonstrate leadership at the global level, we were chosen to host the 8th AMA Summit. The 8th AMA Summit will see over 40 African countries. A summit in Liberia. It's going to be a very massive conference. 40 countries coming here. What we're going to do, discuss the future of maritime as it relates to Africa.
He is Liberia's representative on the International Maritime Organization, Robert Bade. If you just joining us, this is a reminder that you're listening to K News at 6 or 45 minutes presentation of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the one world. We are live on our Facebook page at Cool, live on YouTube at K News Channel 2, and also live on our online radio at www.knewsonline.com. My name is Benjamin Keba presenting today's development here. The Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewage Corporation, Mohammed Ali, has expressed support for the critical analysis presented by Reverend Emmett Lafayette during Liberia's 178th Independence Day celebration. Ali emphasized that constructive feedback and sound recommendations are essential to national development. The LWSC Managing Director Ali commended President Boakai for acknowledging key governance challenges raised by Orator Don without attempting to reflect or argue. He noted that the President's commitment to take immediate action in response to those concerns demonstrates a mature and inclusive leadership approach aimed at addressing systemic issues. Managing Director Ali also weighed in on the Orator's recommendation to dismiss rather than suspend officials accused of corruption, stating that while accountability must be prioritized and due process should not be overlooked, Ali clarified that suspension allowed for investigation to determine whether individuals should be prosecuted, dismissed, or reinstated, stressing the importance of legal procedures in maintaining institutional integrity.
Want a critical view of how we are performing, because these critical views, along with good recommendations, will help us to move the country forward. This country is not for us alone in government, it's for every one of us. And so the orator spoke, he highlighted issues that we should consider, and we also, the president did not go on the floor to argue with him. The president said, yeah, we acknowledge that there are certain issues, and as a result, in fact, we are going to take some immediate actions. He also said, stop suspending fire. I mean, I do not totally agree with it. I think in some suspension cases, people need to be investigated, and then the result will show as to whether the person will be prosecuted, dismissed, or brought back on the job. So these are all things that happen, but on the overall, I thought the orator served the country well, and he served opposition, neutrals, and government. There have been more people that Joseph Boakai appointed who have been suspended, and they are in court on account of corruption in this government, allegations of corruption, than people from the past government. Corruption is not something that anyone is going to sit and argue about. It is there. But we also look at the LACC. He said, funding issue, he admitted to increment in funding. LACC, I spoke with people from there. For the first time, their budget has been increased by more than $1 billion in this one, and they are getting funding, they are getting the support. And that is the reason why, despite the fact that there are still challenges, but they are performing more than ever before. The GAC has conducted more audits in the first year of this government than the first year of any government, of any previous government.
He is the Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewage Corporation, Mohammed Ali. The Executive Director of the National Rehabilitation for Drugs and War-Affected Persons have forwarded a couple to the West Point Magisterial Court for allegedly giving a dangerous substance identified as coach to a 19-year-old boy leading to his death. Retired Colonel Augustine Nangwe, assisted by resident, seized the corporal Jerry Colley and Titi Cipher for drugging the victim identified as Freedom Jala around a popular ghetto known as Trench Town, located at the PHP behind the St. Teresa Convent on Randa Street. Colonel Nangwe explained that when the corporal observed that the victim was unconscious after taking the coach, they chartered a tricycle and rushed him to the Catholic Hospital, but the hospital reportedly refused to accept him because he was dead on arrival. Nangwe narrated that it was based on this background that he received a tip-off and rushed to the scene and apprehended the couple and transported them to the West Point Magisterial Court. The retired colonel pointed out that the victim was undergoing rehabilitation at the center but came to greet his relatives during the July 26 celebration, and his body was deposited at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital. The Vice President for Technical Services at the National Oil Company of Liberia says the country needs institutional builders that will build the country and institution through education and ideas. Rich Basigia emphasized the need for Liberia to invest in its human capital, particularly the younger generation, to secure a prosperous future for the nation. Mr. Basigia made the statement at the program marking the 16th graduation ceremony and the 18th closing exercise of the Kula Foundation Institute in Pinsville on Tuesday. According to Mr. Basquiat, the strength of any country lies in its people, and Liberia is no exception, but to urge them to invest in the youth and prepare them to become professionals who will transform the country.
Has laid the bricks of discipline, curiosity, and commitment to learning. Those bricks are the very materials with which you will build your homes of purpose, your careers to impact you, your livelihood to help your parents, and engage in the many important things out there. Your path from today forward will be shaped by courage, your curiosity, and the choices you make. Our country, Liberia, needs builders, men and women, to build our institutions and build ideas and integrity. Where I work at the National Oil Company of Liberia, we recognize extracting mines and mines of the nation's wealth unless we first invest in developing the potential of many of you. That's why we celebrate the institutions like the Kula Foundation for building your lives and your careers. Stand beside you in this moment of pride, because the real resources, the true wealth of Liberia is gathered here in this room today. To the Kula Foundation and the leadership, I applaud you, Mr. CEO, and your co-workers, for building not just a school, but a sanctuary where young Liberians grow into principled leaders. To the parents, God given, thank you for standing behind these scholars with steadfast love, commitment, and sacrifice. And to all of us gathered here today, let us not be the end of the school year
In his remark, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kula Foundation, Martin Kula, urged parents to instill moral discipline and values in their children, stressing that character formation at home. Kula noted that the children are investment of their parents. As such, parents should not fail to discipline and guide them. He warned that the future of Liberia is at a crossroad, calling on both parents and educational institutions to play their roles in shaping the next generation, maintaining that a better and brighter Liberia starts with discipline, moral integrity, and education.
Discipline and listening to your parents. I appreciate you parents for taking up your time in this very difficult time to support your children. It is a challenge that all of us have to make Liberia better. Liberia will never get better if we don't make some efforts and send our children to school and discipline them at a rehabilitation center. And you see young girls, young boys, children, all on drugs, and you know that our population is going down the drain, and the future of our country is hanging in the balance. Until we make some effort to keep our children closer to us, send them to school, keep them under discipline, we ourselves will not have a future, because your children are your investment. We are doing a lot here as a foundation. I'm not the one running the school or the activities here. Who are doing supervision. I want to thank the team, Pastor Wanta and his team, doing what is right to give Liberia a better future.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Kula Foundation, Martin Kula, earlier speaking was Rex Basigia, the Vice President for Operation at the National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCOM. And now to draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6, we take our foreign development, where police in Angola say 5 people, including a police officer, have been killed and more than 1,200 have been arrested after a demonstration in the capital, Luanda. What began as a 3-day strike by taxi drivers against rising petrol prices has escalated into one of the most widespread and disruptive waves of protests the country has seen in recent years. Thousands of people joined demonstrations in the capital on Monday that saw roadblock, shops looted, cars destroyed, as well as clashes between demonstrators and police. The police also reported attempted demonstration and looting in the province of Ikulu, Bengo, and Hombo, which they now say have been contained. Well, on that note, we draw down the curtain on today's edition of K News at 6. It's been a joint effort from our News and Current Affairs Department here at Cool 91.9. For and on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Benjamin Gabriel Kaiba. Good evening from Painesville.